On January the 8th, the European Year of Intercultural Dialogue 2008 was officially launched by the Presidency of the European Union. The EPP-ED Group, a major political force in European affairs, today organised a special hearing on the issue, inviting experts and academics to discuss cultural diversity, religions and dialogue. One of its members, Erna Eniko Schupges from Luxembourg, took the initiative to convene the meeting as Parliament's rapporteur on intercultural dialogue. Yanis Sografis has this report.
Over the recent years, the world experienced several conflicts. Most of them were due to cultural and religious misunderstandings. The lack of dialogue between the world-leading cultures and religions has created the necessity of pushing for a closer dialogue among themselves. Gunnar Hökmark, Vice Chairman of the EPP-ED Group, introduced the subject by praising the ability of Europeans to dialogue.
That is the ability of Europeans to discover, not only in a geographical sense, to discover the world, but also the ability to discover the intellectual world or the world of values that has made Europe a strong entity on the global scene. Our ideas and values have developed in the interdependence and the open climate of a society. And just as we say that this is an important precondition for a stable and peaceful and a good society, it's also important to remember that the open society has its enemies. And in some way it always boils down to those who don't accept people of another belief.
Erna Eniko Schupges, who is the Parliament's rapporteur on the European Year of Intercultural Dialogue, said that 2008 will be a symbolic year for the dialogue, and she underlined the importance of learning to live with others.
Education is one of the components for understanding and integrating people from other cultures, and as such plays a key role in the subject that we're discussing today. But there's all the question of mobility and the differences that exist between new member states and older member states. Now, how should we be doing this? If we could do everything all over again, would culture change Europe? And what can culture contribute to this dialogue to ensure that it becomes one based on communication rather than a dialogue amongst the deaf?
European Commissioner Jan Figel, who is responsible for the implementation of the measures decided by the European Parliament and the Council of Ministers, stressed the importance of the dialogue and of the mutual understanding.
Something what tests maturity of our community, something what will gradually more and more show whether we are able to deal only with business, the market, or more with human relations, as a community of people, community of nations, where everybody can feel and should feel like at home. Internal migration and external immigration is also part of growing diversity. Then we all quote and discuss globalization. Many people see globalization as a threat, and we should see globalization as an invitation for our engagement, not as a way towards clash of civilizations, but for more civilization, for dialogue between civilizations.
Representatives from different cultural communities and experts put the emphasis on mutual respect in order to be able to understand each other.
Today, we are working to include in our association the representatives of Islam, because I am convinced that the time has come to recognize that Islam is the other important monotheist religion and its believers cover a large part of the planet. And given the current situation, despite the fundamentalism and extremism that we see, we should nonetheless give a place to Islam, and not just give it a praise, because we're not there to moralize vis-à-vis Islam, but we should work together with it to create the conditions necessary for an open world in the 21st century.
After 9/11, I feel that this is something which is worth underscoring. At a time of elements of Islamophobia, where there are as a generally wary and suspicious attitudes, and let me say in all clarity that these verses are very important in the sense that Muslims in Germany, after all of the terrorist attacks on behalf of Islam, have said that there are extremist groups such as Al-Qaeda, but each time there has been a written condemnation.
This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPP-ED Group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. On our website, you can find an extended version of our coverage of this event and further information on the Year of Intercultural Dialogue, www.epp-ed.eu. See you again soon.